Weicker are going to join us. DeGrasse is going to talk to us about redistricting in Virginia and around the country. We're teeing this up today because Virginia's still going. We've got a lot of people from Virginia and our big event tomorrow. Jack, just your assessment. The Navy's not shutting down the blockade. The Iranians are now saying if the blockade doesn't shut down, Hormuz doesn't open. They fired on, at least reports on CNN, BBC, they fired on a couple of vessels this morning from, I guess, their speedboats. What's your assessment?
Oh, Steve, look, the Iranians have always had cards that they can play on this. If they don't like the way that they see things going, they don't like, and I'm sure this is a response, by the way, to those messages, the interdictions, the maritime interdiction operations, the MEOs, as we call them in the Navy, that the United States Navy has been conducting. You see these messages that are being played out, the Iranians, commercial vessel, et cetera, that are coming out. This is their response to that. So we'll see how the president plays this. But again, Steve, I would put that in the context of President Trump being in closing mode. I think you're going to see swift action on this.
Yeah, he's talking about people actually leaving tomorrow to go to Islamabad and continue the Islamabad talks. What are the odds you put on that? Because, like I said, he's trying to enforce his will.
I'd be surprised if Kushner I'd be surprised if Kushner and Witkoff aren't wheels up today.
Okay, Jack, I know you got to bounce. I want to thank you for being here with us from 9 a.m. for this special edition, the additional hour as we watch the president in the Oval Office about PTSD. Jack, where do people go to get Human Events Daily, all your content over this weekend, sir?
Well, thanks so much, Steve. And with bringing Joe Rogan back, I guess the podcasters do matter, as it turns out, for the midterm elections. I guess the podcasters do have some pull after all. And by the way,
hang on. Don't get to, let's see if they're back. I mean, he's there today with the PTSD. He was instrumental in making this happen. Yeah, he's making the play.
He's making the play.
Where do people go to get your content?
And Rogan's had his comments, so, but now he's back in the Oval. So there you go, right? People can turn the page very quickly, and the president understands how to do that. For myself, Human Events Daily. We're up Apple, Spotify, wherever you get podcasts, at Jack Posobiec. We're there 24/7, doing a lot of coverage. Tyler Robinson hearing, not massive 6-hour hearing yesterday. We went through all that, through all 6 hours, back and forth. Are there going to be delays, et cetera? We're going to have cameras in the courtroom, so that's been a huge focus for us. But now we're pivoting back on to our coverage of Iran, and we're going to make sure we don't drop it. We're going to put this thing to bed.
No, you're the best. Jack Posobiec, thanks for taking time away from the kids, Tanya Tay, your parents, all of it, on a Saturday morning. Thank you.
No problem. Heading out to Little League games now.
Fabulous. Doesn't get better than that. Eric Bowling, back from your morning workout. Thank you, sir, for joining us here. Your assessment of what's happening, been a lot of activity in the Strait and in the Gulf of Oman. We got a couple minutes. We'll hold you to the break. Brandon Weichert. Also, your thoughts, sir?
I think the IRGC is playing it the way anyone would. I'm guessing the way the Trump administration would expect them to play until a deal is, the ink is dry in the deal. They're going to assume that they have control of the Strait of Hormuz. Looks like they fired on a UK oil vessel and maybe an Indian flag vessel as well. Be very unnerving if the markets were open at this point, but I do think it's them trying to say that, hey, we're going to still try and create a deal for ourselves, the IRGC, when they do meet with Witkoff and Kushner. Trump owns it. It's his. I mean, if they wanted to, they could take out those SWIFT boats. Just they could sink them, but they're not going to do it. They're going to let Iran play their little games or little reindeer games for a while. And of course, it's on a weekend. It's not really affecting the oil market. We'll see what happens on Monday. But I have a hunch that Trump will get the Strait of Hormuz open very quickly. But you sent me an interesting chart this morning. I hadn't seen that yet. It's the live vessels. So it's tracking live vessels via satellite and how many have transversed or transited the Strait. At peak, it did 150, probably averaged around 140, 142 a day. It's been a couple, a handful under 10. We noticed it was a couple 14 a couple of days ago, 9 yesterday. So it's likely who Trump wants to get oil. You notice who the vessels that were fired on by the IRGC were: the UK and India. We're friendly to those, relatively friendly to those, so to speak. So no surprises here, Steve. I think this is just a little negotiating, a little nudging prior to the actual sit down with Kushner and what.
communication by weapon. Eric, hang on. Brandon Weichert's also with us. Alex DeGrasse, we're giving you the big picture here as a frame. Commonwealth of Virginia, last day to run through the tape on early voting. We'll have a bunch of those folks. Also, if we can pull it off technically, Todd Blanche, the acting Attorney General of the United States, gave a keynote speech at the NRA last night. He'll join us live. We're packed wall to wall. Short commercial break. Take your phone out. Text Bannon, BANNON, at 989898. You get free with no obligation the ultimate guide for investing in gold and precious metals in the age of President Trump. Most importantly, you get direct contact with Philip Patrick and his team at Birch Gold. Remember, gold's been a hedge against time.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like men over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugenix Total T2.
From the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC comes Nugenix Total T2, a unique new formula that combines the ultimate free and total testosterone booster with a powerful nitric oxide booster that works in just 3 hours. Feel like a new man, leaner, stronger, with more energy and drive. Get your complimentary bottle by texting SURGE to 321-321.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
You can only try before you buy with this special offer. Get your complimentary bottle now. Text SURGE to 321-321. Do it now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Neurozone Brain Supplement absolutely free.
Hey, buddy. Morning. I'm a stickler for good dental care. Me too. Ooh, looking sharp today. But even if we take care of our teeth, we can still get... No, please don't say it. A big dental bill. That's why dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company is important. Now, this isn't a discount plan or preventive-only coverage. It helps pay for over 400 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures. That's a lot. It's easy to find out more. Just call or go online now to get your free information kit with all the details. This dental insurance helps you pay for routine care and expensive major procedures, all with no deductibles and no annual maximums. You can even keep your dentist. Why pay more for dental care? Get your free info kit and start saving today. Call or visit physiciansmutualdental.com. Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul. For 50 years, I've watched Washington betray the American people with dishonest money. Nixon's closure of the gold window made endless debt and war inevitable. Today, our middle class, our currency, and our economy are dying in real time. In my new book, Dispatches to Future Generations, I reveal how we got here, plus the solution, gold. And that's why I'm partnering with Birch Gold Group to give you a free copy of my book along with their free info kit on gold. Click below to get both right now. Inside the info kit, you'll learn how to move your IRA or 401k into physical gold. So click below to claim your free copy of my Dispatches to Future Generations and Birch Gold's info kit today.
War Room. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, we've got a lot to get to in the Commonwealth of Virginia. Also, Alex DeGrasse is going to be here to give us the big picture on what's going on in both the Supreme Court redistricting and the pivot. President Trump's pivoted hard to let's close this thing out in November. Get more on that in a few minutes. I want to go to Brandon Weichert. Brandon, your assessment. The Iranians get a vote here, right? President Trump trying to enforce his will on the in the Persian Gulf and Iran. The power of positive thinking. He's bullying through to get a deal done, saying guys getting ready to take off. They're going to go to Islamabad, while the Iranians are shelling Indian and British tankers. Your thoughts, sir?
I think it's interesting they're shelling British tankers. Of course, the Iranian regime hates the British as much as they hate us, going historically, but the British have tried to stay out of this fight. So I think it's interesting they're attacking somewhat of a neutral country. The Indians make sense because of their relationship with Israel, but I suspect what you're seeing here is some flexing. I think that what your previous guests were saying is correct, but I would just say we are still not close to a deal. I have a piece up at 1945.com where I'm saying that, what was announced yesterday felt like a PR stunt. And the reason I say that is based on the comments of the Saudi finance minister. So, the price of the paper price of oil has come down, and that's great. But ultimately, the Saudis are saying that the real price of a barrel of oil, you're not going to find for $83 or $90 anywhere. You're going to find it for somewhere between $115 and $160 because of the scarcity issue. Over time, we can overcome that. But right now, that paper price is not necessarily commensurate with the real price of what a barrel of oil is costing on the market, which is going to cause dislocations. And the Iranians know that, and they're playing up that to try to squeeze the administration. I'll just add one other thing. Any deal that sees the Iranians in control of the Strait of Hormuz in any way is going to be perceived as a failure. I don't know what President Trump, what he thinks of it, but we know the Singaporean prime minister has been blowing up the White House saying you cannot let this stand because they're worried about it setting a precedent for the Strait of Malacca, which of course Singapore depends on. So even small countries like Singapore are saying do not let the Iranians have control. So you're going to have all these pressure on the president over the next 72 hours. This thing is not over yet, I don't think.
No, look, correct me if I'm wrong, and this is why I say we don't really have any allies in the area. America's greatest ally is, Netanyahu's furious about President Trump stopping him against Hezbollah and in Lebanon. And, of course, our great Arab allies. There was not a big tear coming down the Saudi finance minister's cheek when he's saying, gosh, the price of oil is going to be 115 to 140. These guys have been nervous at $50 a barrel. They're going bankrupt, right? Because Aramco is so incompetent and they're so lazy and dumb and incompetent about running the thing. Their lifting costs, I think, are $30. It should be $2. They're all for this being over $100, correct?
I don't know if they're for it being over $100. They like it in that range because they're aware that, if it goes too high, they're going to basically lose clients. That's what they're always worried about. So they like it in that range. But right now, I think what the Saudi and most of the Arab states' concern is if the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, they're not having any business whatsoever. So the Saudis were all for, sticking it to the Iranians when we were talking about attacking Iranian oil flows, going after their production and whatnot, as long as the logic was we were going to keep that strait open. I think the fear in Riyadh and elsewhere in the Arab states is if that strait remains closed, then nobody's selling oil, not just the Iranians, but the Arabs as well. So that's going to affect them very negatively because they won't be getting any of their product to market or not enough of it.
What the Iranians have said publicly is that they're going to keep the strait closed, including firing on people, as long as the United States Navy is on the other side in the Gulf of Oman with a blockade, right? So how do we work? President Trump's not about to back off of that. That's what's given us all the leverage to date. How does this get worked out in your mind?
Well, that's going to be the key here. And right now, there's no stasis in the argument. So the Iranians are going to keep their blockade up. We're going to keep our counter blockade up, which is why I don't think we're near a deal yet. Ultimately, if Trump is really fixated on getting the, quote, nuclear dust from Iran, I suspect the Iranians eventually would be willing to part with whatever's remaining. But that's going to require a longer term discussion because the Iranians are going to have things they want in return. One of those things is clearly the preservation of Hezbollah in Lebanon, and I don't know how long that ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah can last. It sounds like Israel already started attacking again after in isolated pockets after the ceasefire. So this is contingent really on Israel. What are we going to do to keep Israel from going out of line? And so far, we haven't done enough, and that's going to affect us getting a deal on these wider issues with Iran.
Is there any way that President Trump could get a deal and leave and be acceptable to everybody to get sorted here with the Revolutionary Guard having any hand on the throttle of the Strait of Hormuz, sir?
This is my concern in that 1945 piece. I can't imagine not only would the American government have a problem with it, but every government's, because of the precedent it's going to set. And the Iranians are not going to let that strait go. The Iranians have complete effective control over the strait right now, irrespective of whether we have this counter blockade going or not. I seriously doubt the Revolutionary Guard is going to let that go, even if we do get a deal on some of these other issues, because it's just too good of a leverage point, and they could be making a lot of money from transit fees. So this is going to be a longer term problem. I hate to, to mixturate on the good feelings here, but I think this is going to go on much longer, even if President Trump is ready to make a deal right now.
And they're pirates. They got a pirate's mentality. Brandon, where they go to 1945 to get the article, where they go to social media, you're always putting up insightful pieces and controversial pieces.
Yes, apparently I'm very controversial. We the Brandon is my Twitter handle. NatSecGuy at Emerald.tv and NatSecTalk at Rumble are my other places where I have a lot of material coming out daily.
Brandon, thank you so much. Appreciate you. Eric Bowling, before you bounce on a Saturday morning, your thoughts about Brandon Weichert, the bigger picture, and the importance of the Strait of Hormuz, sir?
So Brandon makes a very good point about the price of spot. It's called spot crude oil right now, and it's actually worse than what he said. He said 105, 110. The spot price for a Saudi crude right now is about $130 to $140 a barrel. But here's the thing. During this last 50 days or so, they've been incapable of shipping oil out of the region. They produce a ton of oil in the region. So what happens is you either have production or storage. Well, they were still producing, and all that production went into storage. When the storage got filled, they had to do what's called a shut-in. They shut in production. They shut in oil production. They shut in refinery production. And so, yes, there is a bit of, it's going to be here's what will happen. It's very high right now, but as soon as it's all clear on the Strait, and I do believe Trump is playing this very smartly. He has control of it. I disagree. I don't think IRGC has it. Maybe they think they do have it. Maybe no one wants to really get into a big fight right now because they know there's a deal about to be made. I think Trump still holds the let's call it the keys to the lock of the Strait of Hormuz once that opens. So once it opens, all this storage is going to be flooding the oil market. And this is what I've been saying since we started here. Prices are going to go up. They'll continue to go up. But once they ease, it will flood and they will come back down. Now, will it be what happens when they run through all that additional storage? Because they will. China's been blowing through their own storage. They're going to need to replenish that as well. We tapped our own SPR for some crazy reason. Don't know why we did, but we did. We'll have to replenish that as well. So they'll be up, based on supply and demand. You'll have rising and lowering crude prices going forward. But generally, this blockade was announced and the way they delivered the blockade with sending J.D. Vance over there, which I thought was a bad idea. Turns out, looking at what the real theory behind it, with the 4D chess theory behind what they did, putting the Iranians, painting the Iranians into their own corner, I think it was brilliant. And I do, if you, nothing else, Steve, then listen to that soundbite of the U.S. Navy telling the vessels that were trying to pass their blockade, telling them you're going to feel the full power of the United States Navy if you continue. And 21 out of 21 have turned back around. Who would you rather be concerned about? The United States military front lines with the Navy, or a couple of gunboats that are shooting, maybe a couple 50 caliber rounds into the side of a boat that doesn't kill anyone or sink the boat? I think Trump has control, and he's playing it very smartly right now. And I do believe Brandon is right about the current price, and it will be volatility, but I think generally we will see an easing of prices, like I said, late summer into September.
What are the markets going to need to see? They just had 2 vessels fired on the pirates of the Revolutionary Guard, saying we're in control here until Trump sends the United States Navy on its way. We're going to control this. What are the market? We want stable markets on Monday that could lead to be the foundation for a deal. What are they going to look for? We got about a minute, sir, before you get a bounce.
Yeah, very quickly, Steve. I read the story about the vessels, the UK vessel and likely the Indian vessel that gets fired on. No one's hurt, no one's sunk. And they said they're 2 small Iranian IRGC gunboats. And if you remember the Brady Bunch movie, I don't know if you remember this, when Jan's telling Marsha how amazing her boyfriend is, and Marsha turns and goes, "Sure, Jan, I feel the same way about the Iranians saying that they have control of the Strait. Sure, IRGC, we'll talk about it." But I'm thankful it happened while the markets were closed. I'm very thankful. And that may have been an Iranian calculation as well.
Whoa, he's telling the pirates. He's using the Brady Bunch analogy. Eric Bowling, where do we go to get your content over the weekend? We'll see you here on Monday.
Yes, sir. At Eric Bowling across all social medias, and always, proud to join on air with Stephen K. Bannon, because he sees the future, not the past. Matters.
And thanks for doing it. Doing your workout early and coming and joining us here on this Saturday. Appreciate you, sir, as always.
Indeed. Have a great weekend.
End of the Dollar Empire 8th free installment is out. Go to birchgold.com, promo code Bannon. You get to talk to Philip Patrick and the team. You got 8 free installments right now, including the latest with kind of all the updates of this war in the Persian Gulf, in the Gulf of Oman, in the North Arabian Sea. Naval assets have locked down the Persian Gulf. Of course, the pirates of the Revolutionary Guard don't appreciate that. Shot a couple of vessels today. Birchgold.com. Short break. Back.
My friends, I come to you today on behalf of the Jewish people in Ukraine whose lives have been completely destroyed. Family and loved ones brutally killed. The International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is inside of Ukraine, providing emergency food and supplies to tens of thousands of people.
I am shocked how many elderly people came here. They're afraid, and they realize now that there are more people than boxes.
For just $25, you can help rush an emergency food box to the elderly Jews in Ukraine. Many of them are hungry, frightened, and alone. Today, there's a special opportunity to double your gift's impact. Call now, and your gift's impact will be doubled.
The people of Ukraine are caught in the crosshairs of war. Many of these precious people are Holocaust survivors, elderly Jews who are sick and dying. They have no food, and we must reach them now before it's too late.
The world is in a war again. I am alone. I'm afraid of the bombs. I'm scared. I am old. There is no food.
Just $25 helps rush emergency food to elderly Jews in Ukraine who are in urgent need today. Please call, scan, or go online right now.
I will not starve. Thank you, good people.
We can be the hope to the Jewish people who are suffering in Ukraine. Your help is desperately needed now.
Thanks to generous fellowship partners. Call now and your gift's impact will be doubled.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like men over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugenix Total T2.
From the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC comes Nugenix Total T2, a unique new formula that combines the ultimate free and total testosterone booster with a powerful nitric oxide booster that works in just 3 hours. Feel like a new man, leaner, stronger, with more energy and drive. Get your complimentary bottle by texting SURGE to 321-321.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
You can only try before you buy with this special offer. Get your complimentary bottle now. Text SURGE to 321-321. Do it now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Neurozone Brain Supplement, absolutely free.
War Room. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Our own Eric Bowling used a Brady Bunch analogy. I don't know. Got to deal with pirates as pirates, right? Breaking news from the Hormuz letter. Breaking, India is expected to summon Iran's ambassador after the Revolutionary Guard fired on an Indian vessel in the Strait on Indian vessels, plural, in the Strait of Hormuz this morning, including a super tanker carrying 2 million barrels of Iraqi oil, despite having given the vessel clearance to pass. Now, they've turned back 20 in the Strait here by the pirates, and of course the Navy's turned back 23. So vessel for vessel so far, and of course they fired on some. This shows you, as I've said before, when you're negotiating with people, who's really across the table and can they implement a treaty? I just think down the Strait of Hormuz, from the time of Alexander the Great, if you read about his expeditions down there, they are a collection of freebooters. Very tough to control, and they're not big fans of what happens in Tehran for the last couple of thousand years. So you see those cliffs down there? That's where they all are, and they're not all Persian either. And they've been around a long time. So we'll get back to all that. Jeff Ryer, Commonwealth of Virginia, you're the chairman of the GOP. Do we have momentum? It's the last day of early voting. Are your people out? Are we making voter contact, knocking on doors, dragging people to the polls for a big win here on Tuesday, sir?
Yes, they are, and we have early voting locations. Today's the last day of early voting. We have early voting locations covered across the state. We have volunteers out everywhere. We are doing everything imaginable to bring it home. We have people that are door knocking, people that are making phone calls, people who are sending personalized texts. We have just about everything going imaginable. I would say we were on our second win, but that was some time back. We're probably on our fifth or sixth win at this point. But the level of energy is just phenomenal. We are tickled with where we are right now.
It's been extraordinary, particularly given the money arrayed against you and even some of the money that was raised, not totally aligned with this kind of voter contact and knocking on the door. What are you hearing from the volunteers? What are you hearing? We're going to have Delois and Mo on here in a moment, but what are you hearing at the chairman level for the folks that are actually, because 8 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago, this was dead in the water. The Democrats were going to take 10 seats. They put in 50, 60, 70, $80 million. Hakeem Jeffries was going to become Speaker of the House just in the Commonwealth. This got turned around when you became chairman of the GOP. What did you do to instill the fire in these folks?
Well, we gave the power and the authority to our volunteers. We have a large organization that frankly has not been sufficiently tapped in elections, and Trump Force 47 really started tapping them a lot more, and that was why that was one of the more, albeit we did not carry the state, it was one of the more successful efforts as far as engaging volunteers. And we went right back to that and built on it and gave the authority to our volunteers so that they could have a meaningful role in determining the outcome of an election. And they have had a very meaningful role in determining the outcome of this election, because they're the reason why we're finally getting attention from national resources, why people are suddenly jumping on board and trying to help out. Initially, everybody thought, well, it just wasn't winnable, and they just looked at last November's elections, both here and the result of the referendum in California, and thought, well, it isn't doable. Well, they know now it's doable, and the Democrats know now that it's doable, because they're starting to turn on the gas on their side, because I think they realize that something they thought was a slam dunk is instead way too close to call, and we're the ones with the momentum and the energy.
Jeff, we got today through the day. We're going to have a big gathering tomorrow. I'll get Delois and in Hanover County. Delois and Mo are going to tell us about that. We want everybody there, even if you're just a member, just a member of the Warren Posse. If you're not involved in this, that's okay, because we're going to talk about Tuesday, and then we're going to talk about November as President Trump pivots to focus on domestic electoral politics. Where do people go, Jeff, to follow you with updates during the day? I know you're putting them on social media. What's the website? If they want to volunteer today or even for Tuesday, where do folks go?
Okay, for keeping track of what we're doing, go to our X account, which is capital V, capital A, underscore, capital G, capital O, capital P. That's the way to keep track of everything that's happening as it's happening. To donate or to volunteer, go to virginia.gop, and you'll see, as it shows up there, the little no-rigged map, stop gerrymandering box there. Click on that, and it'll take you to a site. There's a little message from me. I should probably take that down, get the volunteer form up higher. But when you scroll down, there's a volunteer form. You can sign up. You can help us out. If you sign up for us, we will get you squared away and taken care of. We'll make sure if you're not in Virginia that you have an opportunity to make phone calls or texts to Virginians. We have a lot going on, and the heart of this really is our volunteer base, and they are the ones that have driven this. They're the reasons we're getting the attention that we need, and they're the reasons that people are paying attention to what's going to happen in Virginia on Tuesday. We are very, very excited about the way it's going, and we feel great. And by the way, Steve, I cannot say this enough. Yeah. War Room was with us when nobody was paying attention to us. And I just want to let you know how important that has been, both in invigorating our base and bringing us new folks to help out. It has been extraordinary, and War Room has been just a phenomenal help in this effort. And it's going to be even more of one tomorrow at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock in Hanover County. But we're going to send you to the site to go. We're going to have a great gathering. We want everybody there. Jeff, it shows you when they put a grassroots leader in charge of a state party, good things happen. Couldn't be prouder to be working with you guys. We got the easiest job in the world. Let you come on and inspire the Commonwealth, and inspiring the Commonwealth, inspiring nation. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you. See you.
Run through the tape. That's the motto today. DeGrasse. We've been through some good times on this. This gets me back to the Texas on the redistricting when we had to have the big fight, but we took a couple of body blows. President Trump's pivot hard. You saw yesterday with Charlie Kirk. Supreme Court, Sean Spicer. I think we're going to try and get Spicer to come down to Hanover tomorrow if we can. Your thoughts right now. Let's start in Virginia. What are you seeing there? Because you keep your hand on the pulse of where the energy is. What are your thoughts on Virginia?
So I think it's really tight, Steve. I mean, you have to, a lot of this we've spoken on the show, right? You got to look at Obama, and, they've deployed Obama aggressively, and they sort of keep that card. It's fairly rarely played, if we're going to be honest about it. So it's very tight. I don't think that they would do that. I think this is a 4 or 5 point race. I think if you look at the areas, congressional districts that have turned out the most early vote proportionally, Republican seats are leading right now. So the momentum and the grassroots energy is on our side. And I think, one of the most important things I've ever said on this show, Steve, is you have to have a list, right? We talk about the list. And so many people, I'm at the airport, Steve, they go, dude, I got my list. People talk to me, the posse. They're like, this is the list time. I mean, in Virginia, you need the list. We need 10 people on the list. Even if you don't live in Virginia, if you know people in Virginia, family, cousins, friends, get them on the list, check in with them, make sure they get out the vote, make sure they are getting 5 people. I mean, if you can create this grassroots tree of people turning out the vote, we can obviously beat expectations. And I think you're seeing the governor's numbers plummet. I don't think you're seeing the turnout. I drive around Northern Virginia sometimes going shopping. I mean, you've got all these paid guys, paid protesters out there freaking out, pushing all these, pushing the yes agenda, but it's not organic. I mean, it's totally staged, totally, these Soros groups, but they're out there because they're not getting the vote they need. And so, look, I mean, I think a big mistake Republicans have is sort of undercounting how Democrats have really juiced their election day turnout. That's one of the big reasons why they did more competitively in 2022, even in 2024, as Republicans had increased our early voting, they're getting better on game day. So I think really is going to come down to game day. We've got to juice what we can, obviously, but, it's really, really tight, Steve. And I think if we can stop them in Virginia, I think it's huge for what we've been talking about on the show for a year, which is the Supreme Court argument, obviously, on the Voting Rights Act, Steve, which we could talk about as well. I know Spicer was on it, but, the show has been on it from the beginning. For years, honestly, we've been talking about the potential for, this case, because it's cut and dry and it's all constitutional. This isn't about anything except...
But hang on, but his scoop, we know you were here when the argument took place. It's such a blatant violation. Not obviously, it's never obvious, but it looks like it could get overturned. But they're slow walking it so that we're past the time. But it seems to me state legislatures in these red states, Alabama, Louisiana, You got to step up to the plate and say, hey, I got to call a special session. Even we have to move the primary date back. If the Supreme Court comes, even if they do it at the end of June, you can't just kick this down the can to the 2028. This has to be done now. Do you think there's anything that can be done to wake up these local? Because DeSantis is calling a special session for the end of April. He's tired of messing around. He's calling a special session on redistricting and throwing in his AI bill at the same time, sir.
Yeah. No, I think we need to do that, Steve. I think people, remember, the state houses are like one of the biggest obstacles to MAGA on top of everything else. Some of these entrenched interests. You've got to politely make calls in on all of these states because you've got that 12-seat delta, which, is more or less can make or break, this midterm. I think one of the important things for people to understand is, I've been coming on this show, I think, 4 years or something. We look at the map. The map is narrow just because of the redistricting over the years on both parties. And so there's really not as many quote unquote competitive seats. So 12 seats is big. A 12-seat swing.
Hold it. You started coming on here early in late 21, 22 because you were the guy that said, hey, look, we got all these redistricting possibilities. It's not happening. If we had not done, and you had not come on here, and we put the muscle of the war room and other groups on the redistricting in 22, I'm not so sure we'd taken the House then, because that came down to a handful of seats. Then to come back and say there's still more. The 12 seats right now, the way this thing's divided, where this is like the Western Front in World War I. This is by inches, not by yards. 12 seats is beyond a game changer. And this is my point, that Supreme Court rules, and of course the liberal judges are going to slow walk it if they go late. The 12 seats are the difference between Trump getting, this is why we put the shoulder to the wheel in Virginia. Those 4 seats are the difference between President Trump getting impeached and the whole apparatus being shut down by these radical Democrats, or having another 2 years and then get to 2030 when we really get a census, a true census in here. They never take power again, correct? This is everything. Or am I missing it?
No, you're exactly right. This is like the invention of the tank. Like if you bring even a World War II tank to the World War I battlefield and plow through, you can't. Plus with everything else we're talking about, plus if we can get some election integrity, which is really critically important, because I think you stop the fraud, you fix the census, Steve, you fix on the Voting Rights Act, and you stop messing around, you go into 20, and plus all the movement of people to red states, which is like 10 to 15 seats. This thing is compounding, which is exactly what we talked about. So, we've got this, bottleneck, obviously, in the halls of the Supreme Court, and then obviously in the state houses. So we've got to kind of punch through. It starts obviously with holding Virginia, which we have to do. It's, must have. I'm hoping money comes in at the last push. Maybe I should try to work on that and figure that out. So, I think whatever we can do, and I've been raising money for some of the groups, Virginia Fair Maps. So I think there's a late push, and it's going to come down to game day, which it usually does, Steve.
Alex, real quickly, where do people go to follow you over this weekend? We'll have you back on Monday. Where do people go?
I'm at X to Grass81 on Truth, and Getter, everything else. So thanks, guys. But remember, take the list. Get people out to vote, check in on them, and that's how we get.
We're going to copyright that for you. Trademark it. The List by Alex DeGrasse. Alex, thanks for taking a Saturday morning away from the family. Appreciate you, sir. Short break.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment. Call Coventry Direct to learn more.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
Our friends sold their policy to help pay their medical bills. And that got me thinking. Maybe selling our policy could help with our retirement.
I was skeptical, so I did some research and called Coventry Direct. They explained life insurance is a valuable asset that can be sold.
We learned we could sell all of our policy or keep part of it with no future payments. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we can relax and enjoy our retirement as we had planned.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify to sell your policy. Don't cancel or let your policy lapse without finding out what it's worth. Visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if your policy qualifies, or call 1-800-433-0100. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
Don't you hate that dirty old hose? It kinks, splits, and it always leaks. and it's way too heavy to carry around. It's time to get the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead. Just turn on the water and watch it grow to a full-size hose. It stretches and expands like a rubber band. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the new Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees. Just connect to the spigot and watch it pivot. And when you turn off the water, away it goes, shrinking back to a pocket-size hose. And it makes it easy to carry and put away. Copperhead. It's the hose that grows and pivots, flexes, and sprays. It puts itself away for another day. The Pocket Hose is so unique and so innovative, it was awarded over 100 patents. Call or go online now to get the super light 25-foot Pocket Hose Copperhead today for only $39.99. But wait, order right now and you'll receive an instant $10 discount. So it's only $29.99. And it gets better. Order right now and get our copper spray nozzle with our exclusive thumb drive free. Simply use your thumb to turn it on or off. And with 10 unique patterns, you'll have a setting for every job. A $30 value. Yours free with every 50-foot Copperhead. Plus, Copperhead comes with a full 10-year warranty. It's that durable. That means you can order right now with total confidence. But this special offer is not available in stores or on Amazon. So order right here, right now. And with rising costs, this may be your last chance at this low price. There is a strict limit of 3 per order. So don't wait. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-957-6191 or visit getcopperhead.com. So call 1-800-957-6191 or visit getcopperhead.com. Order now.
War Room. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, we were able to do this a little earlier. We have the Acting Attorney General of the United States of America, Todd Blanche, joins us from the NRA convention down in Houston, Texas. Mr. Attorney General, you were the keynote speaker last night at the NRA for a reason. I know you've got a lot you've been working on the Second Amendment, and you can't tell us a lot about it in detail. But can you just tell us directionally, what did you have to say last night to the NRA?
Good morning. Yeah, sure. So, look, what my message last night is the same message that I'll say to you right now, which is 2 things. One, the things that we've done last year since President Trump took office and signed the executive order on January 20th, basically telling this administration and the American people that the Second Amendment was going to be a priority and defending it was going to be a priority, that we've done a lot of good work. But the second message that I gave to the folks last night at the dinner is that in a matter of days, not weeks, not months, in a matter of days, you're going to see regs rolling out that we've spent a year working on, and they are going to hopefully fundamentally change the way that we regulate our industry for the rest of time. So we're trying to do it carefully so that we do it right, and I expect that to roll out in the next, in a matter of days.
Todd, there's been, last night again on MSNBC, NBC News, CBS, CNN, this whole situation with President Trump, using his Article 2 powers as chief magistrate and chief law enforcement officer of the country to be engaged and involved in over at Main Justice. You're getting hammered by these people. You're pushing back, but I'd like it for the War Room audience and the posse just to walk through what your thoughts are on this vital topic, sir.
It is the most important thing for this administration. Everybody in this country can read Article 2. It's publicly available. It should be in your pocket. And it gives all the power of the executive to one person. That's the President of the United States. And there's this model out there that somehow the Department of Justice is independent from the President of the United States. That is not true. The Secretary of War is not independent. The Secretary of Labor, the Secretary of State. We're not independent from the President of the United States. That's not what the American people voted for, and it's not what we do. And by the way, no president is independent. Biden wasn't independent of Garland. We know that. And so this idea there's something inappropriate with me making sure that our priorities are consistent with the President of the United States, I'll always push back on that, because you better believe my priorities are the same as the President of the United States. He's my boss.
One of the top issues the president's had, and I know, look, you were his defense attorney. You and Emil Bovey know more about lawfare than anyone, because you were in the trenches in the darkest days and fought and got the president through this. The two issues, one is voter integrity. The other is lawfare. What are your initial thoughts as you're the interim Attorney General? Of course, there's a lot of rumors out there that you're going to be named the permanent Attorney General. What are your thoughts on both those topics, sir?
We've been working on voter integrity since January 20th. We have, there's public information out there. We've got the ballots from Fulton County. We've gotten a lot of information out of Arizona as well. But we're looking at Pennsylvania. We're looking all over the country, not only to understand what happened in the past, which is important for the American people to know, but also to make sure that our elections are free and fair, to make sure that nobody's voting that isn't supposed to vote, to make sure that the person voting is actually the name on that ballot. And so we have multiple investigations. I mean, it's not just Department of Justice. That's a White House effort. ODNI is working on that as well. And so that's a whole of government approach to making sure our elections are fair. When it comes to lawfare, Steve, yeah, you're right, man. Like, I mean, you went through it yourself too. It's not just me. It's not just President Trump. But a lot of folks around him were destroyed by the last administration financially. They tried to ruin our reputations. They tried to bring us down. And all we're doing every day is pushing back on that. And yes, it does not happen overnight, but they didn't destroy us overnight either. It took them years and years to build cases against President Trump, and they were careful, they were crafty, and they did everything they could to bring him down, and they failed. And so we're systematically going through the Department of Justice, making sure that any policy, any practice, anything that was done to bring lawfare against anybody in this country never happens again. And if you're a prosecutor, if you're a paralegal, if you're a federal agent, and you were out there trying to destroy our system of our Constitution, our system of justice, then you're going to be gone. Better believe it. And that's, by the way, that's what every single American should want. That should not be controversial, but it is.
Todd, we got about a minute and a half. I noticed last night on they're also melting down because you're removing immigration judges. Can you give the audience just what are your thoughts on that, sir?
Yeah, I saw that too. So listen, there's a lot of immigration. First of all, immigration judges work for the Department of Justice. So they're judges, but it's not like an Article III judge that has a separate responsibility. They work for the Department of Justice, which means they have to follow the law, but they also cannot go rogue. And so we have the authority to hire and the authority to fire. And so we fired, I don't know the exact number, but well over 100 immigration judges for not doing their job. And we got a lot of immigration judges to hire. And we've been hiring a lot. So we've hired, I think, around 150, 160 judges, which is a lot. But when we're firing 100, that means we're only net 50, net 60. So we're trying to hire good, smart lawyers that know the law, and they're going to effectuate the immigration laws, not with sympathy, but the way the laws were written. And so we're not going to, look, I don't mind the critics on that. That's come at it, go for it. But that's what we're doing.
You're pretty thick-skinned, as I remember. Todd Blanche, where do people go to get information about the Justice Department and any personal accounts you have on social media? People can track you, sir.
Yes, we're on social media. There's Justice Department has a main one. At Todd Blanche is where you can get what we're doing every day. And it's great being on your show, Steve, anytime.
Yeah, we look forward to having you back, and thank you for being in NRA. I know people are very, very excited. Great speech last night. Appreciate you, sir. General Todd Blanche, the acting Attorney General of the United States under President Trump. And like he said, the Article II powers of the President, Chief Magistrate, Chief Law Enforcement Officer. Attorney General Blanche is making sure he's not going to flinch, not going to break to the left-wing media. Okay. We're going to get back to the Commonwealth. People are running through the tape today. President Trump's made a hard pivot. Yesterday in Phoenix, a turning point, magnificent. The energy was, you could feel the energy reverberating back here to the Imperial Capitol. What did President Trump do? Got in early in the morning, started at 9 o'clock in the Oval Office, signing an executive order to help our veterans, help our warriors with PTSD. Had Bobby Kennedy there, Maha, big shout out there. Incredible. The hard pivot to November. You know where it starts? Starts in the Commonwealth. Today and Tuesday. Delois Stallman, Mo Bannon next in the War Room.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like men over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugenix Total T2.
From the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC comes Nugenix Total T2, a unique new formula that combines the ultimate free and total testosterone booster with a powerful nitric oxide booster that works in just 3 hours. Feel like a new man, leaner, stronger, with more energy and drive. Get your complimentary bottle by texting SURGE to 321-321.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
You can only try before you buy with this special offer. Get your complimentary bottle now. Text SURGE to 321-321. Do it now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Neurozone Brain Supplement absolutely free.
People are being given 20 days to move their savings out of bank accounts just because of their political views. In fact, a conservative billionaire in Washington, who you know very well, was forced to transfer hundreds of millions of dollars. Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul. If they can debank billionaires for their politics, what's stopping them from doing the same to you? This is why I've always advocated for the one asset that can't be debanked: gold. Click below for a free info kit on gold IRAs from my trusted friends at Birch Gold Group. For thousands of years, while paper currencies and banking systems failed, gold has preserved wealth. Even billionaires are learning this lesson the hard way. Don't wait for your own 20-day notice. Click below for your free info kit on gold IRAs.
This is the primal scream of a dying regime. Pray for our enemies, because we're going medieval on these people. You're just not got a free shot on all these networks lying about the people. The people have had a belly full of it. I know you don't like hearing that. I know you try to do everything in the world to stop that, but you're not going to stop it. It's going to happen.
And where do people like that go to share the big lie? MAGA media. I wish in my soul, I wish that any of these people had a conscience.
Ask yourself, what is my task and what is my purpose? If that answer is to save my country, this country will be saved.
War Room. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
I want to thank the Attorney General's team. It is Saturday, 18 April in the year of our Lord 2026. We've been on since 9. Had an hour where the president came out, coming off the plane last night. The president was there with Bobby Kennedy and team to sign an executive order about under very tight controls to be able to use psychedelics to help our veterans with PTSD and other folks that have to deal with these issues. Something that the MAHA team, Bobby Kennedy, has been working on for a while. So I want to thank Jay Bhattacharya and Dr. Oz and Bobby Kennedy and all of them. It was really great this morning. Erin Benny Ray Harmony was in the Oval. We'll get to her later in the hour. Neil McCabe is at the White House. Neil's got a lot to say about what's happening in Iran. I want to go to John Massoud, chairman of Virginia 6. John, walk us through the energy, because you guys are inspiring the nation right now. We got to run through the tape today. We have to, on Tuesday, deliver on game day, because the Democrats now have turned into a big game day voting. What are the stakes here in the Commonwealth as far as you see it, sir?
Well, the stakes for a lot of people in rural Virginia, and I'm currently in the small area known as Rafine. This is very important to me. The reason it is, my ancestors actually founded the first church in the lower Shenandoah Valley here in the 1740s. There's a marker here where it originally stood. I do not want to see Democrats from Northern Virginia destroying rural Virginia, and that's why we are so focused on winning. We've gotten thousands upon thousands upon thousands of yard signs out. We've run 1.2 million YouTube ads. We've run several thousand ads on Fox News Radio, talk radio, news talk radio. Our people are ready to go.
Talk to me about that. What is, because this is what's inspiring the nation. The Democrats are clearly going to try to use these urban areas, and as it being a native Virginian, I can tell you Northern Virginia is really just an extension of Washington, D.C. and the globalist federal government. It's not really the Commonwealth. What is their plan? How are they intend to destroy rural Virginia, sir?
Well, what's going to end up happening is I would live in the new 11th Congressional District, which is next to that lobster claw, and no congressman who gets their votes from Arlington and or Fairfax would ever come out and pay attention to rural Virginia, and the Shenandoah Valley, which is where I call my home, would be split up and literally ruined.
Talk to me about the Shenandoah Valley. I mean, that is God's country. It's one of the most beautiful parts of this nation. Your family's been there since 1740. Tell me about that.
My ancestor, his name was John McClung Houston, came over with his wife, Mary Woodford, and they landed in Lancaster, Pennsylvania in 1741 or 1742. Like so many Scots-Irish patriots, they made the trek across from Lancaster, Pennsylvania to the Appalachian Mountains, turned south at the Blue Ridge and Appalachian Mountains, and ended up near what is now Lexington, Virginia.
Wow, that's taking the national road down. You said their last name was Houston. Any relation to Sam Houston? Because isn't Sam Houston born just in a little town right north of Lexington?
Was born near Lexington, Virginia. Mr. Houston and I are cousins, and I am approximately 3 miles from a large piece of property that his brother owned.
That's so fantastic. When I'm down in Texas, I tease those folks as Sam Houston is a Virginian. What do you need today to make this happen? Today, to run through the tape, and on Tuesday, what are you looking for as the chairman of Virginia 6 that needs to happen so we can deliver victory?
I was at a men's breakfast at my church earlier today, and I was talking to everyone about the need to get out there and either vote today or vote Tuesday to a person, and I attend the largest evangelical church in the North Shenandoah Valley. They are all going to vote. If churches turn out, we are going to win.
John, where do people follow you as the chairman? You got a Facebook or social media, Twitter? Can you give people, because not just people in Virginia, the nation's very focused on this.
I have a Facebook page, John Massoud, Massoud, Virginia 6th Congressional District Republican Committee Chair. Like I said, I'm actually on my way to Lexington, Virginia to help in early voting. I'm then going to my apologies, Covington City to help out there. People are really fired up. I'd like to take a moment to give a shout out to the 7 Ben's Republican women of Shenandoah County who just this last week mailed, I want to say 3,000 postcards into southwestern Virginia. The Harrisonburg women, the First Wednesdays Republican Women Group have also been a major help. The Republican women are what are going to get us through this and bring us a victory on Tuesday.
As they always have, American women. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you and appreciate everybody that's putting their shoulder to the wheel down there.
And God bless you, sir, and thank you for everything you've done.
We've got the easy job. You've got the hard one. Inspiring not just Virginians, inspiring the entire nation. I have Delois up.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go back to McCabe. Delois Stallman, talk to me about, first of all, talk about the event. Where do people go? We're going to have a gathering tomorrow. We're going to run through the tape today. People all over the Commonwealth are deployed to get the last day of early vote. But to collect ourselves, talk about just what you guys went through, what it means, and get ready for Tuesday. We're going to have a gathering tomorrow, centrally located in Hanover County. Want to make sure everybody, including the War Room Posse, gets to attend. Where do people go right now to sign up?
Steve, actually, Maureen has that link. I don't have it handy. I'm sorry. I did repost it on our Facebook page on York County Republicans on Facebook. It's posted there. A link is there. I don't know the URL.
Okay, perfect. We're going to get Mo by phone in a minute. Hang on. So how do you think it's going? We're hearing great reports. People are enthusiastic, but this is as DeGrasse said, this is a dead heat right now. What's your sense of how we're doing, and what do we need to do today to turn out as many early voters as possible?
Yeah, I'm going to be really honest. Everybody needs to hop off social media and they need to email and volunteer to do phone banking. If we get 100 people to do 100 calls every day for 4 days, that's 40,000 voter contacts. That's what I need you to do. You're going to email voteno@virginia.gop, and we're going to get you signed up on a Pulsar app, which will auto dial for you, and you will be preloaded with contacts. So that's really, at this point, money is one thing, your time, your investment in Virginia is another. And we can't really buy help. We need you to just give us 4 hours, give us an hour today, tomorrow, Monday and Tuesday. And if you have more time, give us more time. But the person who will be responding to those emails is going to get each of you your own account and get you dialing for us. That's the best thing you can do with your time to help us.
Hang on. So I want to go back through this because you can work all those days up until Tuesday. So let's hit rewind and go back because we have lots of people who want to put their shoulder to the wheel here. What do they have to do?
They are going to send an email to voteno@virginia.gop, including their name and phone number. And then we will respond to them from that email with a Pulsar account specifically set up for Virginia voters that we are striving to make additional contacts with to get out the vote. These are targets that we need to be touched again with phone calls. And like my congressional district, we're about to send out 55,000 texts. I know Jack in Hanover sent out 20,000 today as well. So everything right now is about voter contact. We have 45 days of early voting here. I'll be really honest. We're totally exhausted. We're not quitting, but any reinforcements from the posse who can email voteno@virginia.gop and give us a hand, I would really appreciate that. And my first volunteer is Grace Chong. So follow Grace into the queue and help us make these calls.
She's a savage. Grace Chong will work. Here's the Grace Chong will work 24 hours a day all the way through the 4 days. 45 days. It's been long and it's been a grind, and these are all volunteers. But you've got run through the tape today because this is the last day of early voting, correct?
Right. It's going to be a super heavy day. All of our polls are staffed. We're out there with people making sure that everybody coming in knows to vote no. The language, as you said, it is written in a way to deceive, widows and orphans. These people read it. It sounds really great, but, our consistent message is just vote no and don't be confused by the intentionally confusing language. So that's what we're up to, today, just greeting people. It's been super busy. The first congressional district, which is a Republican district that will flip into a deep blue district, we're leading in early voting at the moment. And we have consistently actually been, because it's what happens when you systematically seek to wipe people off of an electorate map. I did send a map in to Denver in case they want to throw it up, just to show people visually what the stakes are here and why we're desperately asking you to email voteno@virginia.gop to organize a call bank for us.
So we have through today for the early voting, in-person early voting. Then we've got the ability to contact people over the next couple of days. And Tuesday is game day. And the Democrats have gotten very good at turning out game day vote, although they're the ones that extend out early voting for, it's not voting day. It's not election day. It's election month and a half. What do you need to do between now and Tuesday to make sure that we have a massive turnout on Tuesday?
Honestly, at this point, the only thing we can really do is just contact the voters. And that is what this phone banking drive is all about, is to get reinforcements from out of state to help us. If you live in Virginia and you want to help at the polls, go down to your early voting location today and give those volunteers a hand, or bring them a Coke or something. And if you want to volunteer on election day, you can also do that by contacting your local party chairman. On this website, if you go under our party, you'll see unit chairmans, and there are emails to all of us. You can contact us. If you want to just email me directly, I can help you personally. My email is yorkgop@yahoo.com.
Can you give that one more time, your email address, in case people are confused and they know where to go someplace simple? Where do they go?
You can reach me directly, yorkgop@yahoo.com.
And one more time, if they want to just go right now and sign up for the phone bank, like our great Grace Chung just did, where do they go?
Yeah, you're going to send an email to voteno@virginia.gop, include your name and phone number, and our staff will set you up with your own Virginia-specific account. Even if you've used the Pulsar dialing app before, you'll need a Virginia-specific call list, and we will get you set up. We need people to call today, tomorrow, Monday, and Tuesday. All day Tuesday, we're going to be calling people to drive them out to the polls and remind them how late voting is open, et cetera.
We have a full day effort, a 4-day effort. Plus, we're going to have the gathering tomorrow in Hanover County. Delois, thank you so much. We'll let you go back to work. You've been one of the leaders of this. Appreciate all your efforts, Delois Stallman. Grassroots that are inspiring not simply people in the Commonwealth, but folks throughout the nation. You saw President Trump had a pivot yesterday. Both are even starting the night before in the with the no tax on tips in Vegas, then go down to the Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, fire folks up, get off the plane. This morning, voila, Joe Rogan, podcaster behind the desk in the Oval Office. Short commercial break, Mo Bannon on the other side.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like men over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugenix Total T2.
From the #1 selling testosterone brand at GNC comes Nugenix Total T2, a unique new formula that combines the ultimate free and total testosterone booster with a powerful nitric oxide booster that works in just 3 hours. Feel like a new man, leaner, stronger, with more energy and drive. Get your complimentary bottle by texting SURGE to 321-321.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
You can only try before you buy with this special offer. Get your complimentary bottle now. Text SURGE to 321-321. Do it now and we'll include a bottle of new Nugenix Neurozone Brain Supplement absolutely free.
Stay tuned to get a free automatic toilet bowl cleaner for Mermaid. Your sink stopper's broken, but fixing a drain is such a pain. Not anymore. Introducing Mermaid Drain Magic, the instant solution to most broken drains. Simply remove and replace. In just seconds, you can fill and drain with a simple press of a button. Drain Magic makes replacing your old, broken, rusty, even missing sink stoppers fast and easy.
Practically took me 5 seconds to replace. It absolutely made my sink look like brand new.
Honestly, I couldn't believe it. How could it work so well, look so good, and install so quickly?
And forget clogging, because Drain Magic's anti-clogging basket helps catch debris before it goes down the drain. When the basket's full, just discard. Helps prevent clogs in your sink by catching hair, food, even jewelry. Drain Magic uses a silicone gasket that creates a watertight seal without messy plumber's putty. Look, this sink was filled hours ago and the water still remains. Press the spring-loaded stopper and the water's gone. Made of brass and finished in high-quality chrome, Drain Magic is rust-resistant and built to last.
It's made out of metal, not plastic, and it actually has some weight to it. Yeah, this is the real deal.
Just looks like a new sink now.
Order your 2-in-1 drain solution, Mermaid Drain Magic, today for only $19.99. And with every order, you're going to get a Mermaid automatic toilet bowl cleaner absolutely free. Just drop it in the tank for up to 3 months of hands-free cleaning. Mermaid's ultra-concentrated formula cleans and deodorizes with every flush. But wait, due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get Mermaid Drain Magic at this incredibly low price with free Mermaid toilet bowl cleaner. There's a strict limit of 3. Call or click now to order.
Call 1-800-519-3206 or visit getdrainmagic.com. So call 1-800-519-3206 or visit getdrainmagic.com. Order now.
Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Welcome back. What a wild morning. Been great. High energy. Mo Bannon, the gathering tomorrow, 4 o'clock in Hanover, centrally located. We want everybody, War Room Posse, all the volunteers, everybody worked on this to attend. Where do they go, ma'am?
You go to warroomvarally.eventbrite.com. War Room VA Rally, all one word, .eventbrite.com. You have to register. It is in Hanover County tomorrow, April 19th, from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And we will be sending out an email with the location as long as you registered with a valid email address.
There's a valid email address. One more time, where do people go today?
They go to War Room VA Rally, all one word, .eventbrite.com.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll see you before the end of the show. We'll do this one more time. It's been overwhelming response. Want to make sure that we get everybody there that needs to be there. So do it. Sign up today. And we'll see you tomorrow. We're going to have a couple of special guests show up too. Plus, we're going to hear from all you, which is most important, the gathering. Let's go to the White House. Benny Ray Harmony and Neil McCabe join us. Benny Ray, you were actually in the Oval. Explain to people exactly what went on this morning. This kind of came out of nowhere. President made a big statement yesterday on Air Force One. Then he was back in the Oval at 9 o'clock. You were there. What was the executive order? What did we see? And you asked a great question. I want to talk about that also. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yeah, Steve. So this actually there was a report just last week by CBS News, and they reported that this ibogaine, it's a psychedelic. And now it was all started by Joe Rogan. He had called President Trump a couple months ago, and he said, listen, there's this new drug. I'm having veterans on my podcast, and they're talking to me about this, and it's taking away all PTSD. And, but they're having to travel to different countries to get this done. So the president said, well, what do you need? Do you need FDA approval? And he said, yeah. So this psychedelic it's what I say, ibogaine is the name of it. And there was a lot of different people behind the president today. But yeah, he announced this last night on Air Force One, and a lot of people had no idea because after that report that CBS put out, we hadn't heard a lot about it. But President Trump, he had, like I said, Joe Rogan, he had Dr. Oz, he had RFK in there, and lots of different people. And I asked the question about this drug. I said, well, one of the biggest things is how expensive it is, and a lot of veterans, whether they're battling homelessness or whatever that is, they don't have access to the type of money where that's like $3,000 to $15,000 to pay for this drug. And you go under, they give you this thing. And these veterans that were in there, they said there is nothing else like it. They said they never want to go through the experience again. They said it's not something that feels good, but it completely blacks you out. And so I talked to Dr. Oz in there. He said that this definitely could become something for the VA to put through their system so that veterans can get this for a better cost. He said for the timeline, they're looking at the end of this year to make that happen. And so veterans could definitely be getting a big win in this.
Benny Ray, correct me if I'm wrong. This is going to start off. It's still going to be very supervised. This is not going to be something you just go get right now. I mean, it sounded like this was almost a more advanced research so that you can kind of take this from the shadows, bring it into a formal process, have people really involved that know what they're doing, get more data as more veterans get into this, make it more available to veterans, but it'll be a very controlled process. Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, Steve, sorry, I meant to mention that this is a big research-funded project. This is not going to be automatic that people can go under and do these trials. There was 2 different doctors in the room, which they said they're very excited for this because it's expanding research on not just this psychedelic, but all the other psychedelic like MDMA and things like that. And so that's why Dr. Oz, he said that research should be done by the end of this year, and that way they can finally start doing those trials and veterans can get in on this. And they'll probably be some sort of sign-up process that people can go through to be some of the first in this clinical trial to see if the effects are really as they're saying it is.
Benny Ray, for the politics of it, President Trump, first off, has the DoorDash, I think, on Monday, and he admitted that was a little gimmicky. I mean, he was laughing about it yesterday, as only President Trump can do. He had this incredible event in Vegas about no tax on tips and no tax on overtime. It's just great, tremendous feedback. He then goes to Phoenix, to Charlie Kirk's, to the big mega church that Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA would affiliate with all the time. Packed house, the energy couldn't be higher. Then he comes back. And I thought one of the most important things today was just not simply the announcement of the psychedelic and what they're doing to try to break barriers and get this into a process, but he had Bobby Kennedy there, huge shout out saying Maha is so important to our coalition. We're here for Make America Healthy Again. Said so many times what a great job Bobby was doing. Had Dr. Jay Bhattacharya there, Dr. Oz, the entire team. Because I've been all these things. Oh, is Bobby Kennedy on the way out? Has Bobby Kennedy been handcuffed? He can't do it. Are the new CDC picks anti-Bobby Kennedy? I don't think anything could be farther from the truth. But do you view this? Bo Davison calls it a recalibration. Is this a recalibration or maybe even a hard pivot focused on November, ma'am?
I think it is, but, Steve, I think a big thing to point out is I think President Trump has seen how big the Maha movement has become. We saw him mention that at the Phoenix rally yesterday with Erica Kirk. Maha has really taken off in a way that I don't think a lot of people realized it would. And this, this reclassification of things and getting back, just the other day, President, Gatorade, the company Gatorade, they announced that they're stopping all chemical dyes, and now all the dyes to color these drinks will be made out of vegetable dyes. And so I don't think Bobby Kennedy's on his way out. If anything, I think he is codifying and solidifying his role in this administration. Every week we see something new come out, whether it's something with the FDA and new medication, or it's foods, or it's, the new dietary guidelines. I really think President Trump doesn't just value him, but values his opinion very much so. You can see it just in that press conference we just had in the Oval Office. He said multiple times how much he loves this guy. And I was shaking my head and smiling at the president, and he looked at me and he was like, oh, yeah, because people love RFK and love the work that he's doing. So it's big.
Neil, in doing the hard pivot, we got to work our way through this war in Iran. And, of course, today the Revolutionary Guard, they've been back and forth, and they've been pretty negative. They fired, we now know, on a couple of Indian vessels. I think they fired on what the Indian ambassador tells us, and they're calling them for a meeting today and saying, hey, one of those was 2 million barrels of oil tanker that you guys approved to leave, and it was Iranian oil. They're saying that the Revolutionary Guard saying, hey, we don't have a deal, and in fact, until the United States Navy stands down and ends the blockade, they're going to keep Hormuz locked down. Your thoughts from the White House?
Yeah, I think the White House remains positive. The president remains positive. He said so last night at the gaggle on Air Force One that he feels good about it. Today, he was talking about how the Iranians are playing games. He doesn't really take it seriously because he thinks that the big meta deal is still in place and moving forward. I would point out that we're seeing emerging 3 estates in Iran. You have the civilian politicians, you have the clerics, and you have the military. But in the end, the Emperor Severus said, pay attention to the military and ignore everyone else. And it seems like the military is now calling the shots. They will open and close the Strait of Hormuz as they see fit, Steve.
Yeah, you've got the military, but then you've got this group of, remember, the military's dispersed into 31 different, I think, districts. You've also got down in Hormuz, the Strait of Hormuz right there, and those cliffs. Guys have been there since Alexander the Great. He didn't have an easy time with them, and they're not all Persians. Did they actually, is there a chain of command they actually report to, or are they a body unto themselves, sir?
Frankly, I'm seeing them emerge as a body into themselves. It's one of the things I always look for is unity of command. Are people speaking who can actually make a decision and execute it? And I'm seeing that falter, whereas 2 or 3 weeks ago, I thought Iran was speaking with one voice and they were sort of acting in unison. I was reading a communication from the Navy or a military spokesman who basically said, the foreign minister said the Hormuz is open, but he didn't check with us. And so that's a problem if you're trying to achieve unity of command, Steve.
Do we know if has Witkoff or Kushner or the vice president said, hey, there's going to be a meeting Monday That means they got to leave tomorrow. Has a team been designated? There was a rumor that President Trump himself may be going to Islamabad. Have you heard anything?
I haven't seen that. There are reports in the Saudi media that the talks are still on. I guess they're on until they're not, and I imagine people can show up. But I do want to reiterate: the president has a process of laying out a big deal and then filling in the details later. He still thinks this deal is possible, and it's happening, and he's just going to let everybody else sort of figure it out.
The power of positive thinking. Neil, where do people go and keep up with you today at the White House, sir?
Steve, they can find me on all the socials at Reporter McCabe.
Benny Ray Harmony, where do people go to make sure they keep up with your reporting throughout the day?
Just right what you said, Steve. Benny Ray Harmony on everything, all over social media.
Great job today. Benny Ray, great job in the Oval. Neil, great job. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for being at the White House today to get the War Room posse totally up to speed. Appreciate you guys. President Trump gets off the plane, early morning hours. He's back in the Oval at 9 o'clock. It's a force of nature. They never see anything like it. And it's power of positive thinking. Norman Vincent Peale, President Trump's father, who, as you know, was so important in President Trump's formation. Also, Norman Vincent Peale and the thoughts of Norman Vincent Peale, the power of positive thinking. You know who else was an acolyte of Norman Vincent Peale? That would be President Ronald Reagan. The power of positive thinking. President Trump is creating reality for a deal. Short commercial break. Back in the War Room on a Saturday in April. Next.
We planned well for retirement, but I wish we had more cash.
You think those two have any idea that they can sell their life insurance policy for cash, so they're basically sitting on a gold mine? I don't think they have a clue. That's crazy. Well, not everyone knows Coventry has helped thousands of people sell their policies for cash, even term policies. I can't believe they're just sitting up there. Sitting on all this cash.
If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, you can sell all or part of it to Coventry, even a term policy, for cash or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums.
Someone needs to tell them that they're sitting on a gold mine and you have no idea. Hey guys, you're sitting on a gold mine. Come on,
Do you hear that?
I don't hear anything anymore.
Find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. Call Coventry Direct today at 800-355-5400 or visit coventrydirect.com.
Water, nature's ultimate cleaner. We drink it, we bathe in it. Think water, think steam, think clean. Now harness the power of water with the H2O X5 5-in-1 steam cleaning system.
I'm so impressed with the X5. It's an all-in-one product, so I can use it throughout my entire house.
It's cleaning, it's sanitizing, there's no chemicals in it. It's just steam.
This is unbelievable. There is no more odor.
5 minutes, I'm done. Look at that, it's amazing.
If you're ready to step into an effective, economical, and eco-safe world of cleaning, look no further than the H2O X5. Using just the power of superheated water, the X5 Super Hot Steam cleans and kills up to 99% of germs, viruses, and bacteria. You could spend over $500 to purchase the products that the X5 5-in-1 Miracle replaces. But through this special TV offer, you won't spend $400, $300, or even $200. Order your H2O X5 steam cleaning system, a $500 value, for just 4 easy payments of $43. You'll get the X5 steam mop with microfiber pad, the carpet glider, the handheld scrubber, the window glass and mirror attachment, and the garment and upholstery bonnet. It's a complete 10-piece system, all this for just 4 easy payments of $43. But it gets even better. Order now and we'll upgrade your X5 package. We'll add a 6th mode with a dusting and polishing wand. Valued at over $30, this extra bonus attachment makes your H2O X5 the H2O X6. That means your 10-piece system becomes a 12-piece system at and no extra cost to you. If after 30 days you're not absolutely delighted, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price. Don't wait. Now's your chance to own the X5 for just 4 easy payments, and we'll make the first payment for you. You get the X5 incredible 5-in-1 lightweight, powerful 12-piece steam cleaning system, a $500 value, all for just 3 easy payments of $43. This offer can't last forever, so call or click right now.
War Room. Here's your host, Stephen K. Bannon.
Okay, Grace is going to join us by phone. Grace is going to join in a moment and talk to us about how you guys log on to help with the phone bank. Cleta is going to join us for a huge victory in Arizona on voter integrity and the stealing of elections. We're going to get to that moment. Tage Gill. And Tage, you're going to stick around. Mo, and you're going to come back in the D block. But briefly, this morning really had an impact on you, right? Because you've been through coming out of 16 tours, was it? Combat tours?
Yeah, 16 times. 16 times. Yeah.
16 times combat tours. And people should know Tage is a gunman. You went and went through this treatment, sir, before the executive order was signed today?
Yeah. The executive order was to fast track ibogaine, and I did ibogaine. I've done a few other psychedelics, and I went down to Mexico and I did it with a nonprofit group, and they have a shaman, medical doctors. There was other SEALs there, and it was a 3-day long ceremony. And when you come out of it, it heals you. It heals your mind emotionally. It allows you to release the trauma that you're carrying from whatever, like from the war, like some kids are abused. It's not just for veterans. It can heal anybody that's carrying trauma that negatively affects their life. And then it physically heals your brain, and then it spiritually heals your soul. After I got done doing all this stuff, I quit drinking. I'm with God now, and my family is first. It reprioritized my life. I got rid of all my bad habits, all my bad behaviors, and I changed my friends. And I think it's a miracle drug. It's a medicine. It's not a drug. It's a miracle medicine. I think it's a medicine from God for human beings to heal themselves. And I'm glad Trump signed that executive order today. I think that's a great thing that he did that. And Marcus Luttrell, Rob O'Neill were there. I was telling those guys for a couple of years to go and do it. I went and did it on my own in 2017. Then I've done it a few times since, and it has done nothing but good things for me and my family and those around me. I think this is a miracle medicine from God, the ibogaine. I think that's a great thing that he signed it.
And you agree that the way President Trump's starting off is that controlled, get more data, learn more about this, but be under these controlled situations where you got people and you're generating more data, and then over time you can get more and more freedom about it, sir?
Yep. Yeah, there's been thousands of Navy SEALs that have gone through and done this program down in Mexico, and then tons of other military veterans. And then they've been doing clinical trials in Texas. Harvard's been sponsoring them to look at how the ibogaine actually physically heals your brain. They say when you get these dark thoughts and trauma, things that lead to like suicide and drinking and whatever, all these bad habits, you actually create like physically hardened pathways in your brain, and the ibogaine goes in there and resets everything so that you can actually make good habits and new pathways. It resets all the pathways in your brain. So also from the explosions and everything during war, it heals the traumatic brain injury. It doesn't just heal, the emotional stuff. It physically heals your brain. It's an amazing medicine. It's an extract from a plant called iboga, and iboga is from Africa. And the people in Gabon, Africa, the men, they take iboga, and that's their rite of passage into adulthood. And ibogaine is an extract from iboga, and it also, like heroin addicts, there's a 75% success rate from one dose of ibogaine. You'll come off heroin, and like two doses, it goes up to 90%. It resets everything in your brain, so it gives you a chance to build new habits, so you can break your addictions.
Wow. Well, you'd certainly, in doing that, start one of the great small companies in this country, the Warpath Coffee. Hang on for 1 second. We're talking about you and Warpath and your journey in a moment. Cleta Mitchell, and I thank you, Cleta. I know you're in meetings all day. You stepped out just to be here because we're having victory after victory, and I want to make sure people know this. You spent so much time focused on Arizona. We got good news out of it, and we're going to get the people actually participating in this on the show next week. But right now, just tell us this victory we've had in Arizona on voter integrity, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate the fact that you are always on it, always watching, and always paying attention. So thank you. Look, there was many people, many members of the posse may know the name Stephen Richer. Stephen Richer was the Republican county election recorder in Maricopa County, which is in Arizona, largest county, fourth largest county in the country, bigger than some states. And he was elected as Republican and became a rabid never-Trumper. He presided over the failed election in Maricopa County in 2022, the one that cost Kari Lake the governorship in 2022. And it was a disaster. And he lied and covered it up. And the people rose up. And a member of the State Freedom Caucus in the Arizona House, Justin Heap, ran against Stephen Richer and beat him in the Republican primary in July of 2022. And between July of 2022 and the time that Justin Heap was sworn in as the new county recorder in charge of voter registration and most of the election responsibilities assigned to him by the legislature, but between the time that he defeated and took out Stephen Richer, this horrible person, and the time that Justin was sworn in, the county supervisors, the board of supervisors, some states call it board of commissioners, but this is the body that runs Maricopa County. And remember, the chairman of the board of supervisors was so despised because he presided over the 2020 election in Arizona, in Maricopa County, and the 22 failed election in Maricopa County. And he was so despised, he didn't even run for re-election, Republican. And he fought us every step of the way on the Arizona recount and the audit that was run by the state Senate. And he at first agreed to it, and then he fought the state Senate all the way. So he was terrible, and he didn't even run for re-election. So these two awful never-Trumper Republicans on their way out the door got an agreement where they transferred all of the IT staff, all of the budget for anything related to IT and other duties of the recorder to the board of supervisors. So that when Justin Heap took office in January of 2023, he learned that he had been stripped